I think we're alive. Almost dead after yesterday. Solid Friday and Saturday. A fucking ass whooping yesterday. Broncos are only winner in the football. They crushed the Cowboys as we expected. There's a game gave out on Sunday night last week when the game went down to 3. That game went to 4.5 in some spots right at game time. The Steelers, home dog, Mike Tomlin, revenge game for Rodgers, sailing in the first half, just as we were with LSU. Um, I watched 2 football games, one Saturday night, one Sunday night. LSU, great second quarter, take a lead into the halftime against Texas A&M, and I could not believe what I saw in the second half. Look, A&M, one of the top teams in the SEC, one of the top teams in the country. Um, but LSU does not get beat at home like that. They got beat so fucking bad that they're going to give up over $50 million just to get rid of Coach Kelly. Get the fuck out of here. And more of the same, as I said last night. Finished off a great second quarter, going into halftime with a lead, taking points, feeling like we're a lock in that game, and get absolutely blown out. Now, Tomlin's not going to get fired, and I'm probably going to be forced to come right fucking back with the Steelers again, plus a field goal at home, but we'll get into that later in the week. So, yesterday just did get the job done. Even the NBA, and again, understand this, guys. I say this all the time. Here's my job. Here's my guarantee to you. I'm going to put you on the sharp side at the best number. So we took Celtics yesterday plus 3.5. Okay. There was some chatter. Jalen Brown's not going to play. Yeah, Jalen Brown's not going to play. He scored fucking 41. Still wasn't enough. Um, they killed us at the free throw line in that game, but we lost the game. But that game closed 2 or 2.5, depending on your book. Again, right side. The right side isn't the side that wins. The right side is where the closing line value. You understand? Same thing with Sacramento Kings. No Luca, no LeBron. No problem for fucking the Lakers as Reeves scores 51. Really? 50 fucking 1? They outshot them 40. Let me hold on a second. Let me pull this up. Ridiculous. Another ridiculous disparity at the free throw line. Where's my Sac Kings? Did I put that in there? Anyway, the Lakers had 40 some odd free throws to the 46 free throws to the Kings 18. Say that one more time. Lakers 46 free throws to the Kings 18. Not going to win that game. But again, no Luca. Levine in. We get that info. We hit it. We lay 2.5. Another game closes 3.5 for 4, but we don't get the money. Again, beat the line, get the edge on the line. The Steeler game closed under 3. It was either 3, you had to pay 25, 30 cents for the dog, or 2.5. Sack, Celtics, every game we bet just moves, guys. So that's what I could do. That's my promise. That's my guarantee. No crystal ball, no guarantee wins. Fucking Austin Reeves, 50 burger. You kidding me, man, Ginger? I wish I was, bro. Steve says, boss, when a bet says for you, does that mean bet more? Steve, yes, it does. So you is a unit. Um, I'll make anywhere from 1 to 5 unit bets. 5 unit bets being extremely rare. Not like the fucking frauds out there. They got max plays every day. That's just to suck you in as a customer. Okay, I'm not looking to suck anybody in. What I bet, that's what I'm telling you to bet in increments. So 1 unit's your regular bet, 2 units a double bet, 3 units is a triple bet, and I've got one of them today. So for my guys that aren't actual Massa Edge members, just live members, stay tuned. You're going to want that. Um, it's our biggest NBA bet of the season so far. 3-unit bet, and it's coming at you. Let's first talk about MLB. Game 3 tonight. Yamamoto. How about Yamamoto? His second complete game in a row in the play. You don't see that in regular season anymore. And here's Yamamoto dealing in postseason. We talked about it from I guess at August on. You could just see the Dodgers coming together, the pitching staff getting healthy. They're the best team. They're supposed to be the best team with that payroll. You're supposed to be the best team, and they are. That pitching staff dominant. Yes, the Toronto got to Snell and that staff game 1. Not so much game 2, as I said, Yamamoto, complete game. They win game 2, 5-1, head back to LA now, evened up. This is going to be Scherzer against Glass now. Another pitching advantage for the Dodgers, as it will be the whole series. Glass now um, allowed only 1 run across 13 and a third innings in 3 postseason games, 2 was starts. He did come in relief in 1. He went 3-2, 2.77 in 11 regular season home starts. And he gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3 in a home loss to the Blue Jays back in August. Scherzer had a decent start his last time out. Remember, he hadn't pitched in almost a month, but he gives up 2 runs in 5 2/3 in a win at Seattle, a big win to help the Blue Jays prevail in that series. Blue Jays now 8-5, scoring 6.4 runs per game, batting .294 in the postseason. But remember who they were on the road during the regular season. 1 game under 500. They are the Dodgers. They finished 23 games over 500 at home and were the highest scoring home team in baseball, 5.6 runs per game. Dodgers, again, 10-2 in the postseason, and they won their last 5 regular season games red hot. I made this a big number, and I thought the 185 was justified, but now this game has now gone up to, it's 200, well, it's 200 at BetUS, 195 Bet Online, 198 at Pinnacle. If it keeps going, they're going to force us to make a little bet on Toronto. Toronto's still a solid team, still hitting the ball. You always get that puncher's chance. Again, as I said, I made this game higher, just not this high. Still needed to go a little bit higher, but at plus 185, how can I not take this team? And we're getting close to it. So that's the baseball game today. NFL, we've got one more NFL game, and I've been telling you guys all week, we just keep missing the fucking number. As soon as they announced that the Commanders would, when they made it official, would have Debo and Terry McLaurin back available for this game. Yes, I know, no Daniels, but I mean, this is just a look-ahead spot. There's no other way to put it for KC. KC has knocked the Bills out of the playoffs in 4 of the last 5 postseasons. They go there next week. I just really can't see Andy Reid putting out the whole game plan here. I expect them to go real vanilla, not show a lot. Casey has looked great. Last week was about as a dominant performance as you could possibly have, especially by the day. Remember, the Raiders were tight end Bowers has been out. They also were without Myers, but they went into KC where they usually play pretty decently, and the Chiefs absolutely held them. They're just dead. 95 total yards in a 31-0 rout. So the defense was unbelievable. Rice, the wide receiver who was suspended the first 6 games, doesn't catch 1 TD pass. He catches 2 deep passes, and that you could see the whole offense. KC's offense better than last year, not even close. So this could be a better KC team than the team that went to the Super Bowl. And you just got to figure it's a couple of games that this team's going to get up for. And that was Baltimore when Baltimore came into KC. Okay, it was definitely the Eagles game. They just weren't ready for that game. Now that they've got Rice back, they'll be ready, and they're going to get up for this next week at Buffalo. Going to find it a hard time to get up for Washington. Washington needs to bounce back. They got brutalized at Dallas last week, 44-22. But again, they were missing not only both McLaurin and Debo, also Noah Brown, their third wide receiver, also out. They've got a good run game, but when you know that's all they've got nobody to throw the ball to. A little easy to stop that. Anyway, big number here. Look ahead. It's Washington or nobody. Merck says Colts Super Bowl or they just play weak teams. Well, they're in the South, and look, Kansas City's the best team in the AFC. Okay. Once the Ravens get Jackson back, they're better than the Colts. The Bills are better than the Colts. So, best case scenario, the Colts are the fourth best team in the AFC. So, look, the improvement that they've had from last year, and the improvement in Danny Jones and Jonathan Taylor running crazy all over, fantastic. Still the fourth best team in the AFC. Now let's get to NBA. What I will say, I've got 2 NFL bets already out for next week, and let me just give you this one. Oh, by the way, for Massa Edge members, ACC ratings have been updated. The other 3 Power 4 conferences will be updated by the end of the day. With so much going on in every sport, tough. That's why I don't do the colleges those first few weeks of the season while baseball is in full effect. Just can't cover everything. I'm not a jack of all trades. I'm a master. Again, LSU sucked. But if you saw where that line went, I told you we were waiting for the 3. Never really got to the 3. We took the 2.5. That game closed 1. That the sharp money at the end of the day. At the end of the day, was on LSU. We talked about SMU early in the week. That game closed 5. Okay, let's skip the college, but ACC ratings are up to date. We'll have the other 3 ratings, the other 3 conference ratings done by the end of the day. Get back to NFL. I'm going to give the rest of the guys the one bet for next Sunday, and I'm kind of talking about it. That's the only reason I'm going to bring it, and that's KC Buffalo. Okay, Chiefs visit Buffalo next week. As I said, Chiefs have knocked the Bills out of the playoffs for 4 of the last 5 seasons. But the Bills have won the last 4 regular season meetings. So the Bills win in the regular season, the Chiefs win when the money's on the board. Plus, Chiefs are playing tonight, Monday night, and they've got to travel to Buffalo. Advantage Buffalo. You got a little playoff revenge. You've got the one team playing Monday night. I took plus 1.5. Now, only something bad could happen to the Chiefs right now. Only selected places. I did see Oliver maybe out extended time. They're banged up on defense now. Milano and Bernard, who may have been able to play yesterday, they held them out. Bills. That just shows you how the Bills have got this game circled. They went to Carolina, destroyed Carolina, knew they wouldn't need those guys to play Carolina with Andy. How bad was Andy Dalton? Beat up like a redheaded stepchild. That's what fucking Andy Dalton was yesterday. But these beat up. They should. I got to believe 100% Bernard will be back. I believe Milano will be back. They are a little still beat up on defense, but only bad things could happen to KC tonight. They're going to play tonight. They're expected to win by 11. Okay. So unless they win by 20, there's really nothing that's going to make their rating go higher. Uh, but if they play a close game, or if God forbid you get an injury to Mahomes or somebody, it's only can make them come down. So that's why we're taking the lead with 1.5. Playoff revenge. KC will be on a short week. Game just a bigger game for Buffalo. We're on Buffalo plus 1.5. Again, if I'm telling you guys this now because only something bad could happen, and that's the thinking behind that. So anyway, that's our one NFL bet. I've got another one. You'll get that later. The Mass Edge members already have that. So NBA, NBA. Nobody got better numbers than me in the world. I'm not talking about social media, guys. I ain't talking about in the world. Yes, rough day yesterday, but again, 2 beats on the numbers. You can look at the ratings, and if neither team is really in a back-to-back, you see the numbers basically come right to my number as they do every single day. Let's start with your previews. Pistons beat Cavs 133-122 at Detroit. um, March 28th last year. That was the last time they met. Cavs had won the prior 12 meetings, 7-4-1 against the spread. Um, so, yes, Pistons got the last one. Cavs owned them before that. Yes, a little bit of a different Detroit team, but this is still an ownage. Cavs held on for a 118-113 home win over the Bucks last night. Cavs 2-1 now after losing the opener at the Garden against the Knicks, but have not covered a game yet. 0-3. They did get DeAndre Hunter back yesterday. Now remember, he's coming off injury. Will DeAndre Hunter be available for back-to-back? The other advantage is both teams are back-to-back. Excuse me, guys. But Pistons played in the daytime and played at home. Advantage Detroit. So if you're a Massa Edge member, you see I've got Cavs 4 points better on the road than Detroit is at home. But that's going to be more like a 3. As I said, because Cleveland's got to travel. Detroit, no travel, played earlier in the day. And believe me, that's an advantage also. And again, questionability about DeAndre Hunter's availability after playing last night. Does he come back after just coming off the IL? That number, like he says, I'd be around 3. It's 2.5 right now. Here it is, 3-unit bet. Philadelphia 76ers. Magic won 3 or 4 meetings last year. They split 2 at Philly. Philly covered both at home. Magic shots is 39%, including 3 for 24 from 3-point range, and had 20 turnovers in a 110-98 loss to the Bulls Saturday. Yes, we had the Bulls keep the fucking points. Magic ended the homestand 1-2. 0-3 against the spread. They only had a 4-point win over the Heat, which wasn't a cover. So, Magic, I had Magic rated higher. I've brought their rating down after 3 games. Haven't covered any. And that's how winning and losing and against the spread is how I adjust the ratings. And I adjust the ratings every single day. So just so you guys know that for my Mass Edge members, when you get a big card like last night, they're not going to be adjusted till the next day. Shorter card, I can get them adjusted at nighttime. You got to remember, we're going to watch as many games as we can. Got to read as much as I can. Who might be injured? Regardless, let's get to Philly. So Philly, Joel Embiid shoots 1 for 9 opening night at Boston. Okay, follow me, guys. He shoots 1 for 9 at Boston. Philly was a -16. I'm a big plus minus guy. Just as I told you guys in baseball, I'm a big K walk ratio guy. I'm a big plus minus guy. Joel Embiid was the Philly was a minus 16 with Joel Embiid on the court against the Celtics. They beat the Celtics, telling me they were much better that night with him off the court. Okay, Embiid's first game. Let's take a look to the next game. Well, Joel Embiid hits 7 for 11 and scores 20 points in 20 minutes, but he grabs just 2 rebounds. And Philly was a minus 2 with him on the court against Charlotte. And you know what? They beat the Hornets by 4. It's another minus 6 for Embiid. So in 2 games, okay, Philly has been better with Embiid out. Now, he's not going to play tonight. Embiid's not going to play in back-to-back games. So they're sitting him tonight so he could play tomorrow against the Wizards. Joel Embiid is not the guy anymore that you're going to take 3.5, 4 to 4.5 points off when he's in or out of the lineup. So not now. Not while he's on a 20-minute max, and you can see he's just not the same guy. And that's what's going on with this line. They're treating Joel Embiid as if he was Joel Embiid when he was playing good last year or the year before. He's not. Maxey, who I may have undercut a little bit, being a guy like, well, somebody's got to get the points. Well, he's put it down in the first 2 games this year. He goes 28, 6, and 9, leads the 76ers. They rally from 10 down with 5:42 left. Remember, Embiid was on the bench the entire fourth quarter. That's when Philly fucking rallied. Betting against Philly? No, Bo. We're betting the 76ers plus 5.5. That's my 3-unit bet. Again, they're making this number as if Joel Embiid is that guy worth 4 points. He is not right now. I cannot make a Magic that team that's 0-3 against the spread. Agree with your logic. They play much better with them off the court. Well, that's the logic, and I appreciate that you agree with me, my man. That's our first 3-unit NBA bet. We're on the Sixers. Next game, we got Hawks Bulls. This just an out-and-out injury game. These teams have split. They split 4 meetings last year. They split the last 6 at Chicago. Hawks played their last game without Porzingis, Risticha, and Jalen Johnson. Okay, those were 3 starters from opening night. Who's in the lineup for them? We're waiting on that info. Hawks, Giddey, who's scoring 20 points per game, 6.5 assists, 6.5 boards, 7 assists. He's got a question mark on him. I love the start that the Bulls have gotten off. That's why we bet them Saturday against the Magic. They've won their first 2 games. They beat the Pistons at home opening night and then go down to Orlando. So they've only played 2 games. The Hawks have played 3. Hawks are in a 3rd and 4th situation. Again, it's all about the injuries. We'll be waiting to see. This line is just going to 2.5 now. So we'll wait to see if that's any word on Giddey being out or any of the Hawks being in. Just give me as I'm checking some spots. We'll keep you up to date. R.I.P. Mangold. Yes, saw that. That's a sin. Nets, Rockets. Nets. I've actually moved the Nets to the worst rating in the NBA. Utah looked pretty decent in their first couple of games. Wizards, big W at Dallas. They look like shit the last night against the Hornets, but I've got the Nets as the worst team in the NBA. They'll go now on a back-to-back and go to Houston, a Houston team that's looking to beat somebody because they're 0-2 to start the season. Remember, they lose in double overtime opening night against the Thunder, and then they lose to the Pistons at home. Cam Thomas scores 40 last night, but the rest of the Nets shoot just 23 for 62, and they lost at San Antonio. San Antonio had a bigger lead. They opened the back door. They let them in a little bit, but then they finally stomped them out. Brooklyn now 0-3, 1-2 against the spread. The only cover, another backdoor cover. That was against the Cavs. They were down 22 entering the fourth quarter in Brooklyn, but they got the back door. KD scores 37, but the rest of the Rockets shoot just 23 for 65, and they lost, as I said, 115-111 at home to the Pistons. Houston's dropped both the first two games, and they said they'll be looking to beat somebody. Can they beat the Nets? Now, here's another stat: the Nets won and covered both meetings last year, and they're 6-1 the last 7 meetings. Again, two different teams. Nets were a better team. You go back, remember, Nets, even some of those stats will have KD playing for the Nets. Rockets, before the last couple of years, they were absolutely horrible. Rockets will look to, as I said, squash the body. Nets, not a deep team to start with. In a back-to-back, this will be a tough game for them, and that's why the number is as gigantic as it is. For my Mass Edge members, when you see a game like this, so I've got Rockets rated 21.0 at home, Nets rated 5.5 on the road. That's a 15.5 difference, basically, and that's what the number is. 16, 15 and a half, okay? Now, normally in a game like this, you're going to back that number up. It's the how much you want to beat them by factor. So the only time is there a reason for the Rockets to stomp out the Nets? Well, this might be because they've lost both games to the Nets last year, and they've lost both games this year. So they might look to hurt somebody. It might be the Nets. Again, that's my base number, 15.5. Rockets were off not only yesterday, but the day before. Nets on a back-to-back, although it was in the daytime, advantage Houston. So this is Houston or nobody for me. I'm not laying it. I'm just telling you I'm not interested in the Nets, even at that big number. Bet number 2 for the day, small one. I've got 3 bets actually. I'm on the fucking Celtics again. They've kicked my fucking cock in this weekend. We took them against the Knicks Friday night plus 6.5. We bet that fucking game 36 hours before tip off. Took 6.5. The game closes 3.5, and they fucking lay an egg. All over the game yesterday, plus 3.5. The game closes 2.5, and they don't do it again. Talking about Brown, questionable. Yeah, he was questionable. He scored 41 points worth of questionable. But they're 0-3 now, the Celtics. Their rating has nosedived. I thought they would be able to not be where they were, obviously, without Tatum and get rid of Porzingis and Horford and Holiday. But I thought they would still be a playoff contender. Doesn't look like it so far. But they've won the last 8 meetings with these Pels. Despite they won both games last year, but by a combined just 3 points. Pelicans, Zion, 27, 10, and 7 assists. Murphy, 24, 10, and 5, but they still lost at home in overtime. We fought a couple of overtime games this week. That was one of them. We had Pelicans plus 4.5 against the Spurs. They wind up losing by 4. Pelicans playing decent, but I expect the Celtics to get on the board. Look, you've got an 0-2 team, Pelicans, against an 0-3 team, the Celtics. Celtics have always had success there. I've still got the Celtics rated higher. Now, they are back-to-back, but again, they played in a day, so it's not as effective. I just could not make this game that high. I think this is a pick 'em game. 2.5 is worth to take. It's a 1-unit bet. It's my smallest bet of the day. Jay Premier, nobody to rebound, no second chance points, nobody to rebound. We knew that coming in. You're playing small. Pelicans they've actually played small their last game as they didn't have Missy, the center. He did practice yesterday. We'll wait to see if he plays, but he's not a dominator. Celtics worth a 1-unit play at plus 2.5. A good rule of thumb, guys, if I'm betting plus 2.5 and now you guys are first hearing about it now. And you can only get 1.5, and it's a 1 unit bet. That's not even a bet anymore. You know what I'm saying? If it's a 3 unit bet, let's say the 76ers, I tell you guys it's a 3 unit bet at plus 5.5, and the game was down to 4.5, you may want to still make a little bet. Um, but if it's a 1 unit bet, I mean it's barely meeting my specifics for a game, and the lines move the point already. I can't in good faith tell you to bet that game. Raptors Spurs. Both teams played yesterday, but Raptors played at Dallas, and again, San Antonio played at home and in the daytime, advantage San Antonio. Um, Bonds, I told you, I really like this Raptors starting five. Bonds went off yesterday. Yeah, all of them have a shot to get off. Bonds, RJ Barrett could go off for you. Brandon Ingram could go off for you. Last night was Bonds' turn. Uh, what the hell didn't I put? Okay, right. Bonds 33, 11, and 6. But you got to play defense. They let the Raptors let the Mavs shoot 58.8%. Remember, first 2 games, Mavs couldn't get out of their own way. They lost both home games. Okay, the second one at home to the Wizards. They got blown out by the Wizards, but they shot 58.8% against the Raptors yesterday. Raptors now have lost 2 straight, losing at home against Milwaukee since winning the opening night when we had them against Atlanta. Wemby, all he did yesterday, 31, 14, and 6 blocks. Wemby now averaging 33.3, 13.3 rebounds, 6 blocks per game. He had 2 turnovers yesterday. He had no turnovers in his previous 2 games. This is the unicorn. I mean, this guy's ridiculous. There was some question that Daquan Fox may be back today. He will not be. And Cornette will miss his second straight game. Cornette gives Wemby a little time off. And he needs to come out, but Cornette will miss the game also. Anyway, I'm a little higher on this game. Again, I advantage San Antonio. Played early, no travel. Toronto played later, as I said, did travel. Spurs have won the last 3 meetings. This is also 4th and 6 for Atlanta. So good spot here. My numbers have Spurs 4 points higher. At home than Toronto is on the road. The spot is all every bit of a 1.5 worth. So my number on this one, 5.5. And this game right now sitting at 4.5 or 5, depending on your sports book. I cannot believe the Magic just went to 6. I starting to get worried that Maxey is going to sit today because the only way I could make this fucking number even close to that. So we'll wait to get info. I'll be on this one all day. Yep. Solid 6. Magic now is solid 6 all over. Again, that's my best bet of the season so far. I expect Philly to be able to do it without Embiid, who just really hasn't been contributing anything. Thunder at Mavs, as I said, Mavs shot 58.8%, finally getting right last night. But now they're going to be in a back-to-back situation. Yes, there's no travel, and Thunder are coming in. It's their last game of a road trip. Another angle I want you guys to know about is when I've got a line higher. So if you're a Mass Edge member, you'll look And you'll see I've got the Thunder 9 points better on the road than the Mavs are at home. And Mavs are in a back-to-back. No travel, but still in a back-to-back. But Thunder are going to play at home tomorrow against Sacramento. So when you have that double-digit lead, as they will at some point, do you rein in the horses a little bit? Okay. And that's why I can't make the number as high as my numbers say, because they play tomorrow. Just checking out some movement here. Jay Will, Caruso, Isaiah Joe, all of those guys still out. Um, again, if there was no um, if the Thunder did not play tomorrow, my base number, which is 9, would become 10 because Mavs had a game last night while the Thunder were off. Um, but also in this series, the Mavs have won 5 of the last 6 meetings, 4-2 against the spread, and they are 4-1 straight up, 3-2 against the spread. Last 5 at Dallas, so they've had a little something going. And now Thunder are listing Chet Holmgren questionable again today. Maybe he sits because, as I just said, they play again tomorrow. They had Chet Holmgren also questionable the game before the Hawks. He did wind up playing that one and lead the team in scoring. So we'll see with Chet. If he does wind up playing again today, we'll start reading into it. Okay, is this a LeBron deal where they announce him questionable every single game? And then it takes a phone call from Damon Jones to tell us he's not playing. I don't even want to get into that shit. That info like that's leaked out forever. And I mean that forever. I'm not taking away what these guys did, but assistant coaches, ball boys, news reporters that are in the locker room, they've been giving out fucking information forever. So it's a whole nother story. Suns and Jazz. So we've got an ownership over here. So if you're a Massa Edge member, you see I got these teams dead even. I've got Suns rated 9.5 on the road, Jazz rated 9.5 at home, dead even. But this is 3rd and 4 for Phoenix, third city in 4 days, while the Jazz have been off 2 days since their loss at Sacramento. So advantage Utah. But Suns have won the last 10 meetings. 6-4 against the spread because they're usually a bigger favorite. That's that KD error against these last couple of years. Utah's been a peon team. Suns have won the last 5 meetings and are 9-1, 7-3 the last 10 at Utah. So they ain't going back far enough. I couldn't buck that situation. At one point, you had Suns 2-point favorites. I just did not want to buck that situation with Utah. Dylan Brooks, questionable, and Williams, the center, questionable. Remember, Williams, they're breaking him in with some restricted time limits. Brooks plays. Dylan Brooks plays. I don't expect him to be out unless they amputate his leg. Williams, I expect to be available for his 20-minute limit or whatever they got him at. Nuggets, T-Wolves, and T-Wolves have won the last 6 meetings, 5-1 against the spread. But Anthony Edwards, let's call him doubtful. Okay, he left the game last night with a hamstring. 3 minutes into the game, he had been dominating his first 2 games. Scored 76 points in those first 2 games. Still a big number. Nuggets. Nuggets are this is the best Denver team. We talked about it since their championship season. They're deeper. Joker 14, 14, 15 triple double in the last game. A blowout win over the Suns. You get the defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert, who had a nice double last night. I think it was maybe 14 and 15 boards. So the Joker, nobody's going to stop the Joker. Can you slow the Joker down a little bit? AE questionable. Minnesota has kind of owned them the last year and a half so far. I can't make this number that high with Edwards out. When they announce Edwards out, and I expect it to be out, this game goes a little higher, have to be Timberwolves or nobody at this big number. Grizzlies at Warriors. We've got quite a few ownerships today, and here's another one. Warriors are 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the spread the last 7 meetings, and they've won the last 10 meetings, but just 6-4 against the spread at Golden State. Grizzlies were blown out by 32 points by the Heat at home on Friday, but responded with a 25-point win over the Pacers the following day. Yes, Bell, we were on the Grizzlies plus 1.5 from the night before. That line closed Grizzlies 2. Then, guys, again, we're not going to win every game. If you think you're going to pay me $29.99 a month and get every fucking winner, and that ain't going to give me that deal. I'll tell you what I'll do. I pay, where's my foot? I pay $2,999 a fucking month. So I don't have to fucking study 16 fucking hours a day. What you're going to get for that is an edge. It's the Massa edge. We take 1.5, our team closes 2. We take 3.5, the game closes 2. Do you understand? That's the edge. So for 30 fucking bucks, don't think that you only did this. It's not how it works. My guarantee is an edge. If you think anything else, you're a sucker. Okay? You might as well go fucking join Steve Stevens. Okay? Pay Vegas Dave a fucking Gino a week for his guarantees. Okay? Anyway, as I said, Warriors kind of own this matchup. Grizzlies, they're going to come all the way out west. Golden State's been off 2 days since getting beat the fuck down at Portland, but that came on the heels of beating Denver in overtime the night before. So Golden State goes into Portland. They had owned Portland, but they lose because they were on a back-to-back in overtime, and they played without Horford. They're going to be without Horford again because their sights are set on the Clippers for tomorrow. And why? Because the Clippers have beat them the last 7 meetings. So you've got a team usually coming off a loss. I say there's no look-ahead spot. Maybe there is here just because of the situation. The situation is you've beaten the Grizzlies the last 10 times at home, and you've got the Clippers, a team that's beaten you 7 straight tomorrow. Once again, you're a Massa Edge member. You'll see I've got Golden State 9.2 points better at home than the Grizzlies are on the road. With that being said, there's no Horford, okay? And with a game tomorrow, just as I said earlier, you're up double digits. Okay, maybe get Butler, Steph, Dre, get them off the court, get them a couple of less minutes so they're healthier tomorrow. So understand that with the ratings, those ratings, a lot of times, especially if there's a game the following day, the number's going to be a little higher, and that's why we contracted a little bit for the fact that the coach is more likely to pull some guys. And the last bet of the day, first of all, I cannot believe Austin Reeves dropped 51 last night. Second of all, I can't believe the Lakers got 46 to 18 free throws at Sacramento. It's not like they were playing at home. You want to bet against the Lakers and say, I dare Reeves and the Lakers to do it again. DeAndre Ayton stepped up, had a nice game. Portland is a much better team this year. They've made another step up. Getting Holiday back for Simons has made this a better team. But the Lakers, it's another ownage. Lakers, the Trailblazers blew out the Lakers 109-81 April 13th last year. That was the final game of the regular season. Lakers rested everybody. Prior to that, Lakers had won six straight, 5-1 against the spread, and they're 8-1 straight up, 7-2 against the spread the last nine in LA. Both teams played last night, but Portland didn't have to travel. Remember, they played the Clippers right in LA. Lakers have to come down from Sacramento. So little bit of an edge for Portland in that one. But this is an ownership. I can't make Portland on the road that much better than the Lakers are at home. I took three. Again, this is a one-unit bet, guys. The line now is down to 2.5. So at this point, okay, you want to make sure that the Lakers got everybody else going because no Luka, no LeBron, no problem last night. You take another piece out there, it's going to be a problem. And I'm not talking about Gabe Vincent, who's probably not going to play. He turns an ankle. I think he's I don't know. I don't know if he's fucking scored last night. But this is Lakers at home, +3, a small bet. And that's your card for today. The baseball game continues to climb a little bit. You can get +179 at Pinnacle. Again, if it gets higher, it'll be Toronto or nobody for me. I would love, love, love to get that hook back on the Commanders game. Commanders are nobody. Surprise Jays are going with Scherzer and Bieber. Scherzer actually pitched decently. I don't know if I gave his stats out at LA earlier this year. He allowed 2 runs in 6 innings in a loss at LA back on August 8th. So that might have some something to do with the thinking of why he's going today. And he was just, look, we're talking about a lot of playoff experience. And he pitched pitched for the Dodgers just a couple of years back. Guys, I'll leave it open for questions. If anybody's got a question, if not, I'm going to get working on the rest of the colleges. Jonathan, thank you, my man. Again, we got a big night tonight. You've got MLB World Series action. You got a Monday Night Football game. You got a full NBA card. What is the lowest? Let's go Sixers. Let's go Six Louis. RJ Hunter. What is the lowest number for tonight's football game? 11. I would not take less than 11. Sports Equinox tonight. All 4 major sports. Who said that? Ginger? I don't consider hockey a major sport, but that's just me. It's because, and I'm only fucking with you guys. I don't know a thing about hockey. I mean, not a thing. The last guy I remember is Wayne Gretzky. The answer to every hockey question is just on Wayne Gretzky. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go hit the fucking gym. Oh, wait, let me hit you with this news. Now we know why the Hawks line moved up. Both Porzingis and Jalen Johnson did participate in this morning's shoot-around. So let's see what we got here. Johnson is one of 3 starters considered questionable for Monday night. The Hawks, Zachary Rizner and Porzingis being the others. Johnson did not play Saturday. Lost, placing him, returning would move okay. Porzingis from the last 2 games is still considered questionable. However, his presence to shoot around. Okay, so calling still Johnson and Porzingis questionable. I'm going to say Risticher still going to be out. We'll look to see what Johnson and Porzingis, story of them. And then the main thing is Giddey. Again, this is why I tell my guys, love having you guys as $29.99 live members. But there's only so much info I'm going to know at 12 o'clock. You want all the info, you've got to be a full Massa Edge member. Louis says, took Kraken plus 130. I don't even know what the smoking crack, Louis. What the fuck you doing smoking crack? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow and every weekday noon Eastern. Let's make some money.